Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for stopping by here at the On the Gunline Podcast YouTube channel, where we chop it up and shoot the shit like we did out in the field, unedited, uncensored, and unfiltered, but the way conversations should be done. So I'm glad you stopped by here. My name is D'Lo, also known as Lopez on the On the Gunline Podcast, or D'Lo the Vet Bro when I do a Vet Bro reaction. If this is your first time or your second or third time that you've come by here and you haven't done so yet, do me a quick favor. I'll wait. Hit that subscribe button. Go on. Just go ahead and click the subscribe button. You know you're on your phone. Just click it. Now, I want you to go ahead and hit that notification bell. It's a little bell right there. Click it to all, not personalized, but all. That way you'll know when I drop new content, whether it's a Vet Bro reaction, Word on the Streets, or the On the Gunline podcast. Each one has a little bit of everything for everyone. And if you dig what I did here today, do me a favor, hit that like button, that thumbs up. Or if you didn't like it, hit that thumbs down button. Either way, drop a comment in there as to what I could do better if you didn't like it, or where you're tapping in from, and what are your thoughts in the comments section. I'd love to continue the discussion there. And if you feel like you want to go ahead and jump on here, do me a favor, send me a email over at onthegunline@gmail.com, and just put on there, I want to be a guest on the subject. You know what I mean? And then we'll make it happen. We will make it happen. No problem with me. So now that we got all the logistics out of the way, I'm coming to you today with some breaking news, some word on the streets. So the word on the streets is that the troops will start getting an economic hardship bonus this month, thanks to our good old Congress, our good old government. They seen that our troops are having a hard time out there. If the civilian populace is having a hard time as it is right now with the rising costs of everything, our troops are definitely feeling it as well. And just like you would here in the civilian sector, you would want to go ahead and assist them. Kind of like when we got those Biden bucks a couple years back, or we got our Trump money a couple years before that as well. I think it would help out if we do the same for our troops, especially since those bad boys and ladies are working their asses off and could have to, at the drop of a hat, head out and fight for this government. I'm not going to say this country, because they're not fighting for the country anymore. Now they're fighting for the fucking government. But that's nor here nor there. That's a conversation for another time, I guess. Either way, I think that's a good idea. I applaud them. I applaud them for. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Good job, Congress, on getting them a raise. Yeah, that's awesome. But let's that's not all, y'all. That's not all. This whopping bonus that they're getting, all right, it's a hardship bonus, as they call it, to help them out, is, get ready for this, a whopping $20 extra a month for 6 months. Yeah. You heard that right. A whopping $20 a month extra per check for 6 months. What's that going to do? Help them buy maybe an extra energy drink during the month? Possibly get a large meal versus a medium-sized meal when they go through Burger King? Maybe even, I don't know. Shit. Possibly just maybe go to the movies and get extra popcorn. I don't know what the fuck they're planning to do. It's not even going to fill up a tank of gas, y'all. It's not even going to help them fill up a tank of gas. And honestly, that's a slap to the face of any service member that you know. And this is going to be for E1 through E5. My understanding is, because it said E6 and below, or below E6. So I don't know why they just say E5 and below. So for those that are wondering, in the pay grades in the military, you have your enlisted ranks, E1 through E9. And then you have your officer ranks, which no one really cares for, but they're O1 and above, so whatever. But that's officers. Officers make enough money; they're good. Um, Anywho, but our enlisted, on the other hand, our E1 through E5. That's going to be from your private all the way up to your sergeants, just to make it a little more uh, maybe relatable to some of y'all civilians out there. It's a slap in the face, y'all. It really is a slap in the face because these guys are the ones, they're the backbones of our working structure in the military. And $20 a month, you might as well just not have said shit because that's probably going to go in taxes anyway. You know what I mean? And apparently it gets worse, though. It gets worse. Our government, in its great fucking wisdom, it kills me. It kills me. In June, you know what? Let me share this. So y'all don't think I'm just pulling this out of my ass, all right? This is from military.com. And it says, in June, the House moved forward with a version of the annual defense policy bill that will give a huge 15% pay raise for E1s through E4s on top of a 4.5 increase for all troops. That proposal would mean junior enlisted will get a 19.5% raise next year, which would be awesome because then that means they don't have to live paycheck to paycheck anymore, depending on how they spend their money. Now, we all know that your E1 through E4s are not the smartest or brightest when it comes to financial decisions. However, comma, they can use the fucking money. Especially, then they're going to wonder what's going to end up happening. I guarantee you, it already happens as it is. But a lot of fucking soldiers or your junior service members end up getting married to the stripper down the street because they know it's going to get them out the barracks and get them that extra BAH. All right. And that's your basic allowance for housing. Why? Because they ain't making shit living in the barracks. And what's crazy, I'll get to that in a second. Conversely, in June, the Senate unveiled a proposal to hike E1 to E3 pay by 5.5%, while service members of all ranks would get a 4.5 pay raise next year. A bipartisan panel of lawmakers recently found, after months of studying military quality of life issues, that military pay has not kept with the pace of inflation or civilian paychecks. Out fucking standing. You guys are moving the ball forward. Thank God. Again, the price of everything keeps going up, but the price of our struggles of surviving, or how much we get paid, I should just say, doesn't go anywhere. You know, it stays the same. It's the same thing as in the civilian sector, how it feels like, oh yeah, we're getting a raise. Awesome. But guess what? As soon as you get a raise, bam, cost of living just went up with it. But get this, it gets worse, y'all. It gets fucking worse. Because not only that the House and Senate will have to negotiate a compromise compromise version of their respective bills before the NDAA can pass into law. And the prospect for the larger hike is murky. In other words, our people in our Congress, in our Senates, they don't give two shits about your fucking pay. What y'all need to do, young service members, enlisted, officers, warrant officers, whatever, y'all need to start at the local fucking level, all right? And then start kicking out all these old ass fucking congressmen, senators, all of them. Kick them the fuck out. They need to go, y'all. They need to go. Everybody gets worried about this goddamn general election every 4 fucking years. In the interim, you need to worry about your local election at the state level because they're the ones that are passing these fucking laws, or I'm sorry, they're the ones that are making these bills and then voting them to make them into laws. If you grew up in my generation, you remember that motherfucker bill that used to sit on the stairs outside the Capitol? I'm just a bill sitting on Capitol Hill. Yeah, they need to bring back that shit and put them on YouTube ads because that way our kids can understand that the president only presides. He can give you opinions and ideas and help lead the country a certain way, but he doesn't make law. The law is made by those motherfuckers that sit in the people's house. All right? They're our representatives. And that motherfucker, the president, either signs it or vetoes it. All right? Just a quick breakdown on how I think it works. Right, wrong, I don't know, but it sounds about right to me. So, anywho, but get this, all right? The White House raised strong objections to any targeted boost to junior enlisted pay before an administration study on military compensation is finished, which leads to questions whether the House's plan, along with its ambitious pay raise to junior troops, can survive. So thank you, Commander in Chief. Thank you for looking up for your motherfucking soldiers who, at the drop of a motherfucking dime, you would send over to another motherfucking country to go die for something that has no motherfucking value to us. Yes, I say the MFer a lot. That's just part of my culture growing up in South Central Los Angeles, and I apologize for nothing. So, with that said, y'all, what do you think? Drop it in the comments. What do you guys think about this? Y'all need to write your congressmen. Y'all need to write your senators. Y'all need to ask why we can spend all this money for conflicts that have no bearing on us at this time. There's no immediate threat, no immediate danger from Russia, from China, from anybody. But yet we're fucking arming and supplying or funding all these other conflicts without even thinking about our soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, space cadets, Coast Guardians, and whoever the fuck else is out there. If I forgot you, my bad. But it just pisses me the fuck off. I become a little bit passionate about this because I just learned, all right, the Army in their infinite wisdom, because they know how to fucking budget money, they spent $11 million, $11 million, y'all. $11 million on The Rock. Now, I'm not talking about an engagement ring. I'm not talking about a piece of land. I'm talking about Dwayne The Rock Johnson was given $11 million for his UFL football, or United Football League, I guess it's called, whatever it is. As you can see, it hasn't been fucking spent on the propaganda for them. Anyways, that was $11 million worth for him to help with recruiting for the Army. Now the Army's trying to get their money back because not only did it not help recruit, it actually backfired. And I think like 32 was said that had decided not to enlist. So thanks a lot, The Rock, because we don't smell what you're cooking. Are you microwaving? Is that what you're doing now? Because you ain't cooking shit up. Homie, nobody can smell what The Rock is cooking. Because that motherfucker put that shit on microwave, push popcorn, and let that shit handle its own. I have not heard, seen, or even got a whisper of The Rock doing anything for the military in recruiting terms. But on the other hand, I did see a fellow on Instagram who probably made the greatest campaign ad for recruiting. You know, you don't even need to give this guy $11 million. You could have just given him shit, $50,000, and he would be grateful, and he probably would definitely get more people in than The Rock has done. And I'm gonna try to look for it for y'all right now. I hope I can find it because it's definitely something that this guy, he's onto something, y'all. He is definitely onto something. So let me try to find it right now. But he said that if you want to get more people in, just tell them what they need to hear and what they want to hear. And I just found it. We're going to check it out here in a second. And I'm telling you, this is 100% correct on what he states. And I stand with him. So let's go ahead and see what my boy has to say.
Put degenerate in their recruiting practices.
Okay, stand by. Let's start all over from the get-go.
I don't know why the military doesn't put degenerate in their recruiting practices. When I was a recruiter, I'd go to these high schools and these kids would be like, man, I just want to party and I'm like, bro, we got you covered. I had sex with a woman in a wheelchair my first year in the military. Year 3, I a big with a colostomy bag while her kids watched Blue's Clues in the living room of her busted ass trailer outside of Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Oh my God. No, he didn't. He just say Fort
I
Sill.
don't know why the
Oh,
military
whoops.
doesn't put degenerate in their
Let's hear this
recruiting
again.
practices. When I was a recruiter, I'd go to these high schools and these kids would be like, "Man, I
Fort
just want
Sill.
to party." And I'm like, "Bro, we got you."
You know, I can't stand when they beep shit, but basically, the kids would tell him, I just want to go out and party, fuck, and have a good time. And he said, we got you covered.
Covered. I had sex with a woman in a wheelchair
A
my
wheelchair.
first year in the military.
That's an
Year
Army
3,
experience.
a big with a colostomy bag while her kids watched Blue's Clues in the living room of her busted ass trailer outside of Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
First of all, shout out to Lawton, Oklahoma. That's where he's talking about, Fort Sill. I know that place because it's the home of the field artillery and also home of Scooters. Scooters is the club that if you can't get pussy, it's because you're not looking for it, or you're gay. One of the two. But I tell you what, they should definitely put cow crossing signs out there in Scooters on the dance floor because that cattle will be moving back and forth. Those bitches be hungry and hunting. I'm happy I was married during that time because God forbid I would have been drunk and falling for one of those nasty things. Great googly moogly. Shout out Fort Sill.
Guys, if you like doing degenerate the military is the place for you.
Look at this.
I don't know why.
Didn't even cost. Could have given him $1 million to go. Y'all need to give this man, $10,000 in ads so he could drop that. I guarantee you that he met his mission when it came down to recruiting. Guaranteed. But meanwhile, The Rock can't even fucking send out a goddamn video saying, join the army or in uniform or something. I don't know. Honestly, we don't need The Rock telling us to join the motherfucking military. You know what y'all need to do? Invest that fucking money. Those $11 million could have been invested in maybe, just maybe, fixing the standard of living that these junior enlisted soldiers or service members have. According to what I've been reading, there's a whole lot of motherfucking mold that can be fixed up. Also, how about, those $11 million could have been put on additionally to the fucking whatever $20 extra a month they were providing the fucking soldiers. It's aggravating, y'all. It's aggravating. I'll tell you what. You want to fucking get somebody who knows how to spend your money well. Get yourself a military spouse. All right. Now, I'm not saying a fucking depender. Don't get a depender. That bitch will take it all and blow it at Walmart. Or no, she might be feeling bougie and go to Target. But get a real military fucking spouse who's been through a couple of deployments, who knows how to budget money. All right. Not the dependopotamus that is out there fucking every Tom, Dick, and Harry, dropping her panties quicker than the motherfucking private drops his rank when he sees her. Anywho, I'm going into the weeds, y'all. Get yourself one of them, and they will budget and fix your accounting in a heartbeat, y'all. Anywho, I'm gonna leave it at that. It pisses me off. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. If you want to join me on the Gun Line podcast to do an interview, a shoot the shit podcast with me, as I call it, hit me up on thegunline@gmail.com. I'd be glad to send you a link and we could just chop it up and shoot the shit and have those conversations unedited, unfiltered, and uncensored the way we would on the Gun Line. So thanks for being here for this episode of Word on the Streets. And I'll definitely catch you on the next episode here on the Gun Line. D-Lo the Vet Bro, or just D-Lo, or your favorite gun line chief Lopez. Signing out. I'm out, y'all. Deuces.